He's 67. Still walks 2 miles a day. Still pays the bills, mows the lawn, and keeps a quiet strength in every word he speaks. He loves his wife. They've been together for 40 years. But lately, he's been pulling away. Saying he's tired. Going to bed earlier. And when she reaches for him, he gently turns away. Not because he doesn't care. Not because he's lost love. But because something in his body has gone quiet. He thinks it's just age. But it's not. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't want pills. He just wants to feel like himself again. And if you're watching this, maybe that story feels familiar. Maybe you've felt it too, the silence, the distance, the discomfort you can't name. Let me offer you a new perspective. What if Ed isn't the problem, but a message from your body that something deeper needs attention? Because here's the truth, Ed isn't just about sex. It's about circulation, hormones, stress, and most of all how you nourish your body every single day. You don't need to chase quick fixes. You don't need blue pills or secret tricks. You need to understand how real food can help your body remember how to respond again. In this video, I'll guide you through the real biology behind Ed, the 3 food groups that restore blood flow and hormone balance, the most common mistakes men make that make things worse, and one small change you can make tomorrow starting at breakfast, because this isn't about performance. It's about presence. And you, my friend, are not broken. You're just waiting to flow again. Let's begin. It doesn't happen overnight. There's no alarm. No red warning light. Just a slow, quiet shift that only you notice. At first, it's subtle. You stop waking up aroused like you used to. You feel less energy in the mornings. You hesitate when your partner reaches for you. You laugh a little less. You sleep, but don't feel rested. And when intimacy comes around, you want to be there. You want to feel close. But something in your body says, not now. Not today. You might blame stress. You might say it's normal at your age. You might tell yourself, it's no big deal, but deep down, you know, this is not who you used to be. And here's the hardest part, most men never talk about it. They carry it in silence. Avoiding eye contact. Shifting conversations. Smiling through the ache of not knowing what's happening inside. Let me tell you a story. Howard is 67. Kind eyes. Loves jazz and his grandkids. He's been married 42 years. He told me this, "Doc, I still love her. But I've started avoiding her eyes. Because I don't want her to ask what I don't know how to answer." Howard wasn't depressed. He wasn't sick. He just felt like something precious was slipping away and he didn't know how to hold onto it. But what he didn't know yet was this: Ed isn't always the start of decline. Sometimes, it's the body's way of asking to be fed differently. To be supported. To be understood. To be brought back to balance, not with pressure, but with care. If you felt these signs quiet, confusing, easy to brush off, I want you to know, you're not imagining it. You're not alone. And you're not beyond repair. In fact, this may be the very moment where everything starts to shift because you're finally listening. And now that you've listened, let me tell you who I am, and why I've made this video, not as a doctor who treats symptoms, but as a woman who's walked with men through silence, and helped them return to themselves. Before we go further, you deserve to know who's speaking to you. My name is Dr. Katherine Rocker. I've spent over 30 years sitting across from men like Howard, like you, who carry strength in silence. I've worked in clinics, hospitals, home visits, from big cities to quiet towns. And over the years, one thing keeps showing up in my office: men who are fully alive in every part of life except the one place they can't talk about. And when they finally do talk about it, they often ask me the same thing: "Doc, should I just take the pill?" And here's what I tell them: the pill might help for a night, but it won't give you back the part of yourself that feels alive. Because Ed isn't just about performance. It's about connection. to your partner, to your energy, to your sense of self as a man. The blue pill forces blood where it needs to go, but it doesn't address why it wasn't going there in the first place. It doesn't fix the sluggish circulation, the inflamed blood vessels, the hormone imbalance, or the chronic stress quietly shutting your system down. It doesn't feed your cells. It doesn't rebuild nitric oxide. It doesn't restore confidence from the inside out. I've watched men take the pill and feel more distant the next morning. Because the connection wasn't real, it was borrowed. Forced. Gone as quickly as it came. And I've also watched men change the way they eat. Lower their blood sugar. Fuel their hormones. Hydrate their tissues. And slowly, steadily wake up again. I don't believe in pills as the first answer. I believe in listening to the message behind the symptom. And most of the time, that message is this: please stop fixing me. Start feeding me. So in this video, I won't offer you a prescription. I'll offer you a new understanding of how real food, plant-based, powerful, and simple, can reawaken the systems that made you feel alive in the first place. We'll begin by looking under the surface. What's actually going on in your blood vessels, your brain, and your hormones when intimacy disappears? And why the right meal can be the most powerful medicine of all. Let's step back for a moment. Take the shame off the table. Take the pressure off the bedroom. And ask a deeper question: what is Ed really telling us? Because here's the truth most men never hear: erectile dysfunction is not a failure. It's often a warning sign. A sign that something in your system is slowing down, getting blocked, or being drained. Yes, Ed affects intimacy. But it begins long before that in your blood, hormones, and nervous system. Let's look at each one. Drop of blood 1. Blood flow, the foundation of every erection. An erection is not about willpower. It's about circulation. When you're aroused, your brain sends a signal that tells your blood vessels in the pelvis to open wide. They fill with blood, and that's what creates an erection. But if your vessels are stiff, inflamed, or narrowed, blood can't reach its destination. And what causes that? High blood sugar, poor diet, chronic inflammation, dehydration, stress. Ed is often the first early sign of heart disease or vascular problems, showing up before chest pain ever does. DNA2. Nitric oxide, the yes molecule. Your body needs nitric oxide to open those blood vessels. It's the signal that says, let the blood flow. But as we age, and especially if we eat poorly, don't move, or live under stress, nitric oxide levels drop. No nitric oxide equals no signal equals no response. No matter how strong the desire is. Brain 3. Hormones, testosterone and cortisol in tug of war. Testosterone fuels your desire, confidence, and drive. But chronic stress raises cortisol, which directly suppresses testosterone. And what fuels high cortisol? Poor sleep, high caffeine, processed foods, skipped meals, emotional disconnection. Your body thinks it's surviving, not thriving. And it shuts down the systems related to reproduction and intimacy. Light bulb. So what does this mean for you? It means that Ed isn't just a bedroom issue. It's a whole body signal telling you that circulation is slowing, inflammation is rising, hormones are shifting, and your nervous system is stuck in defense mode. But here's the best part. You can reverse this. Gently. Naturally. Through food. Because food is not just fuel. It's instruction. The right foods can boost nitric oxide, improve blood vessel health, reduce inflammation, support hormone production, calm your nervous system. That's not magic. That's biology repaired through nourishment. And now, I'll show you the first group of foods that can do exactly that. The ones that restore blood flow where it matters most. Let's talk about the power of natural nitric oxide boosters and how you can start using them tomorrow morning. If blood is the delivery truck, then nitric oxide is the green light. It tells your blood vessels to open, to relax, to let life through. Without it, even the strongest heart can't send blood where it's needed most. And no matter how much desire you feel, your body won't respond. But here's what gives me hope: you can rebuild nitric oxide with something as simple as your grocery list. Let me tell you about someone. His name is Dave. He's 65, recently retired. He used to be playful, spontaneous, deeply affectionate. But slowly, he began to fade. "I just don't feel the yes in my body anymore," he told me. We didn't start with a pill. We started with his breakfast. Leafy green, the best foods to restore nitric oxide naturally. Red circle beets rich in nitrates, right pointing arrow convert to nitric oxide, improve oxygen delivery and circulation, help lower blood pressure. Herb leafy greens, spinach, arugula, kale. Packed with natural nitrates, help detox blood vessels and boost flow, also support brain chemistry and mood. Watermelon contains citrulline, right pointing arrow supports nitric oxide production, naturally hydrating and supports sexual function. Grapes, pomegranate high in polyphenols, enhances nitric oxide activity, reduces oxidative stress in vessels. Checkmark how to use them. Simple routines. Sun morning option 1. 1/2 cup beet juice, unsweetened. 1 handful spinach sautéed in olive oil. 1 slice sprouted toast with natural peanut butter. Fork and knife with plate. Lunch add in arugula salad with lemon, walnuts, and grilled tempeh. Sprinkle pomegranate seeds on top. Watermelon afternoon snack. A few watermelon cubes or beet hummus with carrots. That's what Dave did. He started small. Beet juice at 7 a.m., spinach at lunch. And after 2 weeks, he looked at me and smiled. "Doc, something is moving again. Not just down there but in how I walk, how I talk." Like the light came back on. Because when your blood flows, so does your confidence. So does your presence. So does your intimacy. These aren't superfoods. They're signal foods. They tell your body, open up, come back, it's safe now. And once blood is flowing again, we need to make sure your hormones have the right building blocks too. Let's talk about the healthy fats that quietly restore testosterone without needing a prescription. Let's clear up one of the biggest myths I hear from men over 60, fat is bad. I'm trying to cut down, and every time I hear that, I gently ask, are you cutting fat, or cutting fuel for your hormones? Because here's the truth. Your body cannot make testosterone without healthy fat. Not only that, your brain chemistry, your mood, and even your nerve signals all depend on the right kinds of fat showing up in your meals. Let me tell you about Marcus. He's 70. Sharp mind, disciplined, used to play tennis every weekend. But over the last year, he felt himself getting softer, not just physically, but emotionally. "I just don't feel that solid masculine charge anymore," he said. I asked what he was eating. Lots of salads, oats, steamed veggies. But no avocado. No egg yolks. Very little oil. He had cut fat to protect his heart, but in doing so, he had starved his hormones. Avocado best fats to support testosterone production. Avocados rich in monounsaturated fats support testosterone synthesis, contain vitamin B6 and magnesium, both hormone supportive. Egg, whole eggs, with yolk. Provide cholesterol, right pointing arrow raw material for hormone production, packed with choline, vitamin D, and selenium. Jack-o'-lantern pumpkin seeds high in zinc, essential for testosterone balance, also support prostate health. Coconut olive oil anti-inflammatory, helps reduce oxidative stress in Leydig cells, where testosterone is made. Checkmark how to use them daily. Cooking breakfast idea. 2 pasture-raised whole eggs, 1/2 avocado with lemon and sea salt, 1 slice sprouted toast, cup of green tea or beet juice. Green salad lunch or snack. Spinach salad with pumpkin seeds, olive oil, and boiled egg or mashed avocado on rice cakes with a side of cherry tomatoes. That's all Marcus did. He reintroduced 1 avocado a day and added eggs 3 times a week. After 3 weeks, he came back and said, "Doc, I don't know if my testosterone's higher, but my energy is." And my wife said, "She can feel me coming back." That's what healthy fats do. They don't just build hormones. They rebuild you. So don't fear fat. Use it wisely. Because now that your blood is flowing and your testosterone is being fed, it's time to calm what often blocks it all: inflammation and stress. Let's talk about the foods that gently quiet the noise inside so your body can hear the signals again. There's a hidden reason why some men say, "I want to feel connected, but I just feel flat." Not tired, not depressed. Just muted. Like something warm used to be there but now it's buried under fog. That fog? Most of the time, it's inflammation. Low-grade, chronic, silent inflammation that builds up over time from poor food, poor sleep, and stress. And here's what's critical to understand: inflammation blocks nitric oxide. Inflammation blocks testosterone. Inflammation blocks intimacy. Your body can't receive signals of connection if it's stuck in defense mode. That's where food comes in, not just to fuel, but to soothe. Let me tell you about James. James is 73. Sharp thinker, slow speaker. Still madly in love with his wife of 48 years. But he told me, "I feel like I'm trying to be close through a foggy window." Blood tests showed mild inflammation. Nothing dangerous but enough to shut down his response, his arousal, his joy. We didn't reach for medicine. We reached for anti-inflammatory food. Herb foods that lower inflammation and calm the nervous system: orange circle turmeric, with black pepper. Powerful anti-inflammatory, supports joint health and vascular function, must be paired with black pepper to absorb effectively. Seedling ginger reduces muscle and blood vessel inflammation, soothes digestion, which helps mood, gently stimulates circulation. Chocolate raw cacao, unsweetened. High in magnesium. Right pointing arrow calms nerves, increases dopamine. Right pointing arrow supports pleasure response. Teacup herbal teas, chamomile, tulsi, ginger. Support parasympathetic state, rest and connect. Reduce cortisol gently. Checkmark how to use them daily. Sun morning. Grate fresh ginger into hot water, add lemon and a dash of turmeric plus black pepper. Fork and knife with plate. Afternoon or evening. Mix 1 tablespoon raw cacao powder with warm almond or oat milk. Add cinnamon or cardamom if you like. Crescent moon before bed. Cup of chamomile or tulsi tea optional. 1 square, 85% plus. Dark chocolate. James created a routine he called his reset rituals. Morning ginger. Evening cacao. Simple, grounding. And within 2 weeks, he said, "I don't just feel more connected to her. I feel more connected to me." That's the gift of calming inflammation. It brings you out of survival and back into sensation. Because connection doesn't come from force. It comes from feeling safe. And now that your body is flowing, fueled, and calm, let's make sure you're not undoing that progress with common mistakes most men make without realizing. By now, you've seen how powerful the right foods can be. How they quietly rebuild blood flow, hormones, and presence. But even the best intentions can be undone by habits that seem harmless, until they slowly shut your system down. And here's the hard truth I've learned after working with hundreds of men. Most men aren't failing because they don't try. They're failing because they're trying the wrong way. Let's look at the most common eating mistakes that silently worsen ED and how to gently reverse them. Crossmark mistake 1. Skipping breakfast. You wake up, drink coffee, maybe grab a bite at noon. But skipping that first meal tells your body, we're in stress mode. Hold on to cortisol, and cortisol? It shuts down testosterone. It stiffens blood vessels. It blocks arousal. Checkmark fix. Eat within 1 hour of waking, even something simple like eggs plus avocado or beet juice plus nuts. Crossmark mistake 2. Eating too little fat. Trying to eat light, avoid cholesterol, or cut calories. But in doing so, you starve the hormones you're trying to restore. Checkmark fix. Include 1 to 2 servings of healthy fat per meal: avocado, olive oil, eggs, seeds. Crossmark mistake 3. Relying on processed carbs or low-fat snacks: toast, crackers, protein bars, low-fat, yogurt. They spike blood sugar, increase inflammation, and crash energy. Checkmark fix. Swap to whole carbs, oats, lentils, fruit, sweet potatoes, and pair with protein or fat to balance it. Crossmark mistake 4. Drinking alcohol in the evening. A glass of wine or whiskey to relax may seem harmless, but it reduces testosterone and nitric oxide and disrupts REM sleep, which is essential for morning arousal. Checkmark fix. Replace with warm cacao, tart cherry juice, or herbal tea. Support sleep, not suppress sensation. Crossmark mistake 5. Not drinking enough water. Dehydration thickens your blood, slows circulation, and dulls every signal from your nervous system. Checkmark fix. Sip water every hour, especially in the morning and early afternoon. Add lemon or pinch of sea salt for absorption. These aren't hard rules. They're gentle redirections. Little shifts that turn down inflammation and turn you back on. Because when you stop making your body guess, and start giving it what it's been asking for, it responds. And now that you know what not to do, let's focus on the one gentle thing you can do tomorrow morning to begin this new way of living, one plate at a time. If your body is a symphony, then morning is the moment the first note is played. And how you start your day sets the tone for everything: your blood flow, your hormones, your desire. Not just at breakfast, but hours later, when it matters most. Let me show you something simple, not a diet, not a regimen, but a morning signal that tells your body, I'm listening. Let's rebuild. This is what I call the Vitality Breakfast Plate. And you can make it tomorrow. Fork and knife with plate. The Vitality Breakfast Plate. Simple, powerful, natural leafy green. 1 handful of sautéed spinach or arugula supports nitric oxide, clears morning inflammation, helps wake up circulation. Egg. 2 whole eggs, pasture raised. Provide cholesterol to make testosterone, packed with B vitamins for nerve and brain function. Avocado. 1/2 avocado, healthy fats for hormone stability, keeps blood sugar steady for hours. Lemon. 1 glass warm water plus fresh lemon hydrates and stimulates blood vessels, aids early digestion and detox pathways. Optional. Cup with straw. 1/2 cup beet juice or pomegranate juice. Boosts nitric oxide for better flow and energy. That's it. Nothing fancy. Nothing extreme. Just messages your body understands, delivered gently, with consistency. Let me tell you what happened when I shared this with Paul. He was 72, widowed, kind-hearted, trying to rebuild his life. He'd stopped caring about breakfast. Started skipping meals. Didn't feel hungry, he said. But deep down, he'd just stopped expecting anything new from life. We began with this plate. Just 5 mornings in a row. And one afternoon he came back and told me, something's shifting. I'm standing taller. I called someone I haven't talked to in years. I even looked in the mirror. That's what breakfast can do. Not because of calories, but because it tells your whole system, you're worth showing up for. So tomorrow morning, I invite you not to change everything, but to begin again. With 1 plate, 1 message, 1 choice. Because once you make that first nourishing step, the rest of your body knows how to follow. And now, before we close, I want to offer you a reminder. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of coming home to yourself. Some men see Ed as a failure, as proof that they're fading, as something shameful, hidden behind silence and lowered eyes. But I see it differently. I see Ed as a message not of weakness, but of wisdom. Because when a man's body begins to go quiet, it's not giving up. It's calling out. Not to be fixed, but to be fed. Not to be judged, but to be heard. And here's the truth I've learned after sitting across from hundreds of men: you are not broken. You are just unfed, uncirculated, unsupported. And the moment you begin to nourish yourself again, not with perfection, but with presence, your body starts to respond. Sometimes slowly, sometimes subtly, but always faithfully. Because your biology was never designed to give up on you. It just needs the right conditions to come back online. Ed is not the end of your masculinity. It is the invitation to build a deeper version of it. Not one based on pressure or performance, but on blood flow, on breath, on connection. It's a new chapter. One where you don't chase youth, but cultivate strength from within. And that strength, that quiet, grounded, fully alive presence is still inside you. Waiting. Not for pills. Not for permission. Just for you, to begin again. And in just a moment, I'll share how you can take that first step not alone, but as part of a community of men doing this together. If any part of this message touched something in you, a quiet ache, a forgotten strength, or a hope you thought was gone, then I want you to know that matters. Because healing doesn't start with doing everything. It starts with being willing to do one thing with intention. So if you're ready even just a little to nourish your body again, to soften the fog, to feel like you again, right finger comment the word begin below. Not for me, but for you. To mark this moment, the moment you stopped hiding and started listening to your body again. And if there's someone in your life, a brother, a friend, a man you care about who's gone quiet, who avoids the topic, who still wears the mask of I'm fine, share this video with him. You may be the reason he finally believes change is possible. And if you want more healing, more clarity, more grounded, honest tools to feel strong and present again, push pin subscribe to this channel. This isn't just about food. This is about remembering that your story isn't over and your presence still has power. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. And I'll be right here, every quiet, steady, powerful step of the way.